Okay, call this meeting to order. This is the regular meeting of the Shafter Planning Commission. Today is Tuesday, November 8th, 2022. We will have a pledge of allegiance led by Commissioner Oliveira, followed by invocation with Vice Chairman Nunless. Please stand.
Salute. Pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you bow with me, please? Dear Lord, we thank you for this wonderful day that you've given us, and especially thankful for the rain that came our way today. We ask that you be with us tonight as we conduct the business of the city. May we do so that is pleasing to you. We ask this in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you. Okay, at this time I'd like to have the record state that myself, Vice Chairman Nunless, and Commissioner Oliveira are here in person, and we have Commissioner Wiebe and Sanchez both present on Zoom. So all commissioners are accounted for. We'll move on to agenda item approval of the agenda.
I'll make the motion, we approve the agenda.
I'll second.
Commissioner Olvera,
Yes.
Nunless,
Yes.
Wiebe,
Aye.
Sanchez,
Aye.
and Friends.
Aye. Okay, next item is minutes of the previous meeting. We had a meeting October 11th, 2022. We'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion, we approve the minutes of the October meeting.
I'll second.
Commissioner Olvera,
Yes.
Nunless,
Aye.
Wiebe,
Aye.
Sanchez,
Aye.
and Friends.
Aye. Okay, we will open up public comment. This portion of the meeting is reserved for persons wanting to address the commission on matters not on this agenda. We will open public comment. If anybody wishes to speak, please do so at this time. Seeing none, we will close public comment and move right into the public hearing. We have 5 items on the docket tonight. We'll start with number 1, which is conditional use permit number 22-131. Director Esselman, please.
Yes, Honorable Commission. This item is conditional use permit 22-131, which is a request to allow a fenced outdoor area associated with a hardware store, which is conditionally allowed in the general commercial zone. The project is located within the shopping center that includes the True Value hardware store. The site itself is in the parking lot. The entire shopping center is owned by one owner, and the owner has given written permission to develop the outdoor area if approved by the city. The request is to fence off about 3,500 square feet, where currently 10 existing parking spaces are located. The area would be used for storing of pallets of soil, plants, block material, and some building material. There would be no displays, and there would be no sales that would occur within the area. All sales would continue to occur within the existing True Value hardware store. This is simply for additional storage purposes. Staff has concluded that the center has sufficient parking, even with the loss of the 10 existing parking spaces that would be taken by the site. And as part of the conditions of approval, the fence would not exceed 6 feet in height, and it would include privacy slats, and there would be no barbed wire attached to the fence. And with that, staff recommends that the Planning Commission adopt Resolution 22413, approving conditional use permit number 22131 to permit an outdoor area associated with an existing hardware store, including adopting the above findings and approving the conditions of approval proposed in Exhibit B of the resolution. With that, concludes staff's presentation, and we're happy to entertain any questions.
Okay, thank you. Before we open this up, public hearing, commissioners have any questions for staff?
Didn't we approve a fenced area in the back for that thing a year or 2 ago?
You did. You did approve a fenced area with some awnings and things of
Right.
that nature. They need more storage
Okay,
for their hardware store.
okay.
And in looking at that site, am I right that the facility next door used to store their cars, potentially right there. It looks like there's
Yeah.
been fence posts there in the past. There's like little concrete circles in the parking lot on that site. Like if you went and looked at it, you can't see it from above, but
Yeah, I got you. I'm honestly not sure how to answer that question.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
I think that that's where all those white cars used to be stored, right in
Yeah.
that area, and then they moved over.
Yeah, and just to give you a little bit more flavor and background, the hardware store and this actual site, there is an existing business. The Kern County Career Center Services Center would be in between the existing hardware store's frontage and then this new storage area.
Any more questions? I think the applicant's here. We have questions for him. Okay, we'll open up the public hearing on this item. So if anyone wishes to speak in favor or against this item, please do so now. Come up to the lectern. Anyone on Zoom? I have a question for the applicant. If you'd come up, please. Thank you. Yeah. My question is, and I maybe could have asked staff, but will customers go into this area to pick out items, or this is like just extra storage?
No, it's just an extra story.
Okay,
No customer will be allowed to go in at all.
okay, I see. And there will be slats in it, so kind of like your fence in the back, but.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
You just put the stuff in the fence, and then we have samples inside the stores. So we just pick it up and lift it for the customer
okay.
into the parking lot.
okay. So the items you have at your front door, like you have some soil there on display near your front door,
Right.
it'll be extra.
Yeah,
Additional,
extra. It's
okay.
gonna be pallet storage.
I see.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and just to let you know that there's condition 29, which states that the fence and gate shall include privacy slats locked into position and can only be removed with tools. So that is one of the
Oh,
conditions of
okay.
approval.
Okay.
What does that mean? It's,
Wait,
only with tools? Like,
Well,
is there an
it's so like
example of
instead
that?
of like
Yeah,
where you could just slide them out,
Yeah.
they would actually they'd have to utilize tools to be able to get the slats out.
yeah.
Okay.
I just know there's that, I mean, there's an existing fence there, so now there's gonna be like these two parallel fences when you enter that parking lot, is that right? And the one has barbed wire on it, the one for the,
They wouldn't be like abutting. There would
no, yeah,
be
there's lane there.
there would be a little lane there, yeah.
Anybody else have any more questions for the applicant?
No.
Thank you.
All right, thanks.
you.
Okay, anybody else wish to speak in the public comments for this item? Anybody online? Vanessa? Okay, we will close the public comment, bring it back to the commissioners. Any more questions or discussion, or we'll entertain a motion?
A motion to approve the resolution as written.
Okay, I'll second it.
Commissioner Rivera,
Yes.
Nunless,
Aye.
Wiebe,
Aye.
Sanchez,
Aye.
and Front.
Aye. Okay, moving on to item number 2, which is conditional use permit number 22-133. Hand it back to Director Usleman.
Yes, Honorable Commission, this is conditional use permit 22-133, which is a request to add a drive-through. And here's the site, a drive-through for a pharmacy within an existing building, which is conditionally allowed in the general commercial zone. Give you a sense of what's going on here. So that's the site. If you look at these two pictures, you can see the drive-through that they're proposing to build. It's denoted as expansion and drive-through area. And the project is located at 667 South Central Valley Highway. It's associated with Omni Health. In addition to the expansion and drive-through, there would be an inclusion of 29 additional parking spaces 2 additional ADA compliance spaces, and there would be vehicle access and movements developed and paved throughout the project site. And with that, the recommendation of staff is to conduct a public hearing, to find the project exempt for the California Environmental Quality Act, and to adopt resolution number 22416, approving conditional use permit number 22-133, which adopts findings and approves the conditions of approval for the project. And with that, we're here to entertain any questions of the commission.
Thank you. And just to maybe state the obvious here, there is no access from Central Valley Highway into this new pavement. Okay, thank you. More questions, commissioners?
No.
I've got a question. You just said there's no access to Central Valley Highway from what?
I asked about the new pavement, so the new kind of drive-through loop.
Right. Okay. My question is that going to increase the traffic that comes in and out of Omni? And are we going to need to make that a right turn only eventually, or what's going to happen there? I understand that there's a stoplight at Lerdo and there's a stop sign at Los Angeles and Beach, but are we going to incur more traffic there because of the drive-through pharmacy? That's for staff.
I would say yes, there would be more traffic as a result of the drive-through pharmacy, because you'd have more amenities and more accessibility to the pharmacy, and people would stay in their cars and utilize that. In terms of restricting to right in, right out only, at this point in time, no. But again, it will be going through a site plan review, a formal site plan review when they actually provide their site plan to the city, and it would be reviewed by both the city engineer and the building official to make certain that it can accommodate the project, and if there's a need to restrict to right in, right out, we have that authority to do that.
Okay, does this also include input from Caltrans?
I'm sorry?
Would you also require input from Caltrans also or not?
Yeah, I mean, we would
Yeah.
certainly talk to Caltrans because it is on a state highway, but it isn't encroaching into Caltrans.
Right. Yeah. It's just the amount of increased traffic is all. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. That's all I had.
Caltrans was notified of this project.
Okay.
As far as I'm aware, she didn't receive any comments.
And the CUP necessity is because of the drive-through.
Correct. Yeah. Any drive-through requires a conditional use permit. It is an existing facility. It's the fact that,
Right.
and if they didn't want the drive-through, probably it would have remained ministerial, but because they do want the drive-through, it had to come to the planning commission.
And it looks like the access goes around the building, correct? All the way onto the west. It looks like the west side, south end, and it comes back around. So they would have to go back out the same way, right? There's no like direct access from Santa Fe, right? I mean, there is coming in, but not to the drive-through,
Correct.
right?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Correct.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm sure.
That's what we're looking at too.
There's only one access.
Correct.
Okay.
There's just that single one.
Yeah.
Any more questions, or we can open it up? Ron, good.
We'll go ahead and open it up.
Okay, this time we'll open up public comment on this item. If anybody wishes to speak for or against, please do so now. Okay, we'll close public comment, bring it back to the commissioners. Any more questions, or we will entertain a motion?
I make a motion that we accept this project or the recommendation as read.
Second.
Commissioner Rivera,
Yes.
Nunless,
Yes,
Wiebe,
Aye.
Sanchez,
Aye.
and Friends.
Aye. Okay, we'll move to item number 3, conditional use permit number 22-134. Director Esselman. No,
Be mine.
Planner. Forrest.
That's okay.
Thank you.
Conditional use permit 22-134 is a request from the Bedart Brothers to install a caretaker's residence on a piece of their property located east of Zerker Road and north of Seventh Standard. So you can see that there, it's about a half mile from Zerker and not quite 2 miles north of Seventh Standard. On the south and west, there is an almond orchard, and north of the Callaway is an existing vineyard, mature vineyard. The property located directly west is a portion of the Mission Lake specific plan, and once the people that own that get started, eventually there will be houses built there. The applicant has indicated the need for a caretaker's unit because of theft that has been occurring on the property, and they feel that if they have a eyes in the space at night, that maybe they'll lose less stuff. I noticed in the aerial that it looks like North Kern Water Storage Districts has some pumping equipment and things out there. And they told me that they thought that at one point there had already been a house out there that had been torn down. We looked through the Google Earth maps and never found a photo that looked like it had a house, but there were structures on the property in the past. Looked like a Quonset hut was out there at one point. So, but that doesn't mean that there wasn't a house out there in the past. It just, those go back to the 90s and it may have predated the photographs. The kind of odd thing about this piece of property is it's zoned and general planned specific plan. And the zoning ordinance in the specific plan section only addresses the development of a specific plan. It doesn't give any land uses. It doesn't say what's allowed and what's not allowed. It just provides guidance on how to prepare a specific plan and when one is needed. This property, because there aren't any urban facilities available to it yet, really isn't ready for development of a specific plan and a use plan for the area. And as an interim use, they're using it for agriculture. So we kind of defaulted back to the ag zone, and a caretaker's residence is allowed in the ag zone. It's actually allowed by right, but since this SP zone didn't address it, we felt it was more appropriate to bring it to your commission and let you guys decide if you felt that that was an appropriate use in the SP zone as an interim use. The applicants are proposing a 52 by 20 foot double wide mobile home. I believe it was built in the year 2000. There's no sewer service, so it will be on a septic tank. There is an existing potable water well on the property already, so they'll take advantage of that. And staff believes that a caretaker's unit at this location is probably a good thing and will help the farming operation keep their control over their electric equipment and other items that they store on the property, and will probably be a bit of help to some of the other property owners out in the area to have somebody out there at night. And staff is recommending that you conduct the public hearing, find the project is exempt from CEQA, and adopt resolution 22-414 approving CUP 22-134, adopting the findings and approving the conditions of approval.
Thank you. And access to this obviously will kind of be on dirt roads off of Zerker.
Yeah, there's a dirt road. We did include a condition that requires them to treat it with a dust binder and to maintain that dust binder so that they're not stirring up a lot of dust as they drive through there.
What would happen to that mobile home once they start developing the area around there?
Well, once the property owner decides they want to actually develop it, they'll have to come in with a specific plan for the property. I don't know if that would be additional residential development, or I was always told that some of these buffer areas were actually envisioned as being support for residential, so commercial or some light industrial kinds of things that would be employment locations, offices, those kinds of things that would support the residential that's in Mission Lakes, Gossamer Grove, and Heritage Ranch. And at that point, once it's not needed for security of the farming equipment, the mobile home would be removed. Now, the commission does have the option, if they do remove it, to then revoke the permit. And it's just a process of staff would bring the CUP to the planning commission and ask to have it revoked since it's no longer needed. And that would remove that entitlement from the property.
Is there a way to make that a condition of this to?
It can be if you'd like to have the permit revoked if the unit's no longer needed.
Right.
That you feel free to add that to there if you'd like. Hadn't really given it much thought.
Yeah, if they go to use that for something else, that could be just in the way or an eyesore or something.
Yes. Okay.
Any other questions for staff?
No.
Okay, we'll open the public comment on this item. So if anyone would like to speak in favor or against, please do so now. Okay, seeing none, we'll close public comment, bring it back to commissioners for any additional questions, or we will entertain a motion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion. Excuse me, that as read and then add to approve it as read and then add the condition that once it is no longer needed, that it be removed and the permit be revoked.
Okay.
I'll second.
Commissioner Rivera,
Yes.
Nunez,
Yes.
Wiebe,
Aye.
Sanchez,
Aye.
and Franz.
Aye. Okay, moving to item 4. Specific plan amendment number 21-03.
Okay, that's me again. Specific plan amendment 21-03 is a request from Lennar Homes of California to amend the Heritage Ranch specific plan. The specific plan is located on the north side of 7th Standard between the Callaway and Frank Kern Canals. Southern portion of the plan was recently purchased by Lennar Homes, and they've requested some minor changes to the plan to have the development of the property better fit their vision for the site. The proposed changes include changing the name of the plan to the Marcona Preserve specific plan, removing the gated neighborhood that was previously proposed as an age-restricted area with private streets, removing the plans for a swimming pool and private recreation building, and the park will just be developed as a park without those amenities. Revising the development standards for minimum lot size and setbacks, but note that the setback changes are needed to accommodate the footprint of the Lennar houses, and that they are planning on using the existing tentative map that was approved by the city council in 2017. So there were some lots within that gated area that didn't meet the minimums that were spelled out in the specific plan. There was a special provision to allow them. So this is just adjusting those lot widths and depths requirements to match what actually is within the approved tentative map. They want to increase the amount of lot that's allowed to be covered. The original specific plan had the lot coverage standards found in the city core area. And what they're proposing is more consistent with what you would find within Gossamer Grove. They've asked to remove the plant palette that was included in the specific plan. The plants that were in the list were kind of a 2006 kind of landscaping plant. So the landscape architect that works on the Gossamer Grove amenities, the street landscaping in the parks, will also be doing the landscaping for this development. And so he would like the flexibility of being able to use things that are a bit more drought tolerant and more contemporary in landscape design.
So that's a remove and replace.
Yeah, they actually just removed it and then he'll come up with his plan.
Okay, so it's like vacant and they'll
Yeah.
need to.
Instead of limiting him to a list of plants that are almost 20 years old, he can be a bit more creative and there are lots of new varieties that are coming out and people finding that other kinds of plants work better with a more drought tolerant and water wise kind of development. So replacing the house floor plans and elevations with those that are built by Lennar instead of D.R. Horton, who was the one who did the specific plan the last time, and making some minor corrections and changes and updates to the text that are just like bringing the description of the learning center up to date with, instead of saying the county library, it's the city's library and some things like that. It was determined that the proposed changes would not have an impact on the environment, and staff has prepared an addendum to the final EIR for the 2005 general plan update to satisfy the CEQA requirements. And staff is recommending approval and recommends that you conduct the public hearing, that you adopt resolution -22-411, certifying the addendum to the final EIR and recommending the addendum certification to the city council, and adopt resolution 22-412, recommending the city council approve the specific plan amendment.
Okay, thank you. Any questions?
I have one.
Yeah.
With it being a gated community, there's usually HOAs involved for the maintenance of, the parks or the pools and things of that nature. Is there anything that's going to change with that as
That's
well? or-
one of the text changes, is it removes the requirement for a homeowners association.
Okay,
And now the streets that were within that gated area would have been private streets. They will now be public, so
okay.
it'll all be one cohesive neighborhood. And it'll have two, essentially pocket parks, one on each side of Jowetta Avenue North.
okay.
No gated community.
No more gated community and no more age restriction.
Did Lennar purchase the entire site or just this?
Lennar purchased the lots that are developable with houses. There's a school site that was included that apparently is now in conversation of possibly Norris giving that site up. And if they did, Lennar would need to come in, they bought it, then Lennar would come back in, amend the specific plan again to change the use on that site in the specific plan from a school site to more residential.
Okay.
And then they also did not purchase the drilling island parcel.
Okay. But these specific plan amendments would apply to the entire site, not just the piece Lennar
Yes,
purchased.
it applies to the entire specific plan, not, it applies to the land that's underneath the solar panels also.
So the solar farm is still gonna exist with this housing development, right?
Yes, they're owned by two different entities. When the property was sold several years ago, the gentleman that sold it sold the north half to Florida Light and Power. And then a group of people from people invested in the southern portion of it. And then they have subsequently sold several of the lots to Lennar, everything except for the school site and the drilling island. And the subdivision map 7244 that was approved in 2017 only covers the portion that south of the solar panels. The solar stuff has a CUP, and whether or not they choose in the future to remove them and build houses, we don't know.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, and to give you just a little bit of background, I actually fielded a call from the superintendent of the Norris School District after getting a call yesterday from one of the owners of the site, the school site, asking if residential could be put on that site. And I said, no, not without a specific plan amendment. He said, yeah, I'm going to contact Norris School District to see if they actually are going to purchase this site or not. I've been holding on to it for a number of years, paying taxes on it. I'm not getting a straight answer. So I got a call from the superintendent. Did a little phone tag today. Hopefully he'll give me a call tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, if they want to subsequently come in for a specific plan amendment to change the school site to more residential, staff would be amenable to that request. But at this point, it is what it is. It's a school site with this current iteration of the specific plan and this proposed specific plan amendment.
Any more questions, commissioners, before we open up public comment?
No.
Okay, we will open up public comment on this item. If you wish to speak in favor or against this item, please do so now.
This is Bill Walls on Zoom. With Lennar Homes of California. Want to thank Steve and Suzanne for all their work on this. I believe they're Whitney with McIntosh and Associates is also there. They are the engineer for the project. I just wanted to mention, yes, Steve touched on it. I did receive an email from Cy Silver, the superintendent of Norris. They are going to release that school site. They're in the process of writing a letter to the city, so that addresses the one issue. I just did want to mention that as was noted, this is essentially a carryover of the product that we're currently building within the Gossamer Grove community. It'll be the same homes. There are 4 different homes in there. We will have our Coronet series, our California series, the Sky series, and the Homestead series. The landscaping, including the 2 parks, will be the same level of landscape that we have within Gossamer Grove. Even to the extent of the block wall that's around the perimeter. The only thing that we're doing here is we're changing the color scheme up a little on the block wall. But other than that, it will be similar. So it will look very similar to Gossamer Grove in appearance and quality. So just, if you have any questions for me, I'm here to answer them. Thank you.
The pictures show that they're using grass now instead of the plants that they planted in for the landscaping. Is that what's going to be?
Is in the front yards or the park areas? The park areas will have some grass.
The front yards.
There is a limited amount, and it's basically now it's controlled by the state. There's a certain percentage of turf that is allowed, but you have to run water usage calculations that essentially determine how much turf area you can have. If you look at what we have at Gossamer Grove, probably the largest area that you'll have in a typical front yard is probably like a 12 by 12 turf area. The rest of the area is landscape with a bark material in the landscape areas.
Thank you, Mr. Walls.
Thank you.
Anybody else wishes to speak, or we will close public comment? Okay, close the public comment on this item, bring it back to the commissioners. Any more discussion or questions, or we will entertain a motion for item number 4.
The only question I have is it still remains Norris School District, right? If they don't end up building a school, those kids will still go to Norris?
Yes. The school district boundaries don't change, just they're not planning on building a school there.
I think my understanding is that the school site would be in Gossamer Grove for that area as well. So they don't need two school sites in such close proximity to each other.
Okay, entertain a motion.
A motion to approve the resolution as read.
Second,
Commissioner Rivera,
Yes.
Nunless,
Yes.
Wiebe,
aye.
Sanchez,
Aye.
and France.
Aye. Okay, item 5, specific plan amendment number 22-05.
Yes, Honorable Commission, this is specific plan amendment. Can I grab that? Oh, thank you. No, it's okay. Specific plan amendment number 2205, which is a request of Lennar Homes of California again to make minor amendments to the Gossamer Grove specific plan, including revising figures 5.2A, which is titled the Community Core Concept Diagram, and 5.2-2B, titled the Community Core Concept Sketch, and I'll show these in a moment, as well as 2, making a minor change to the specific plan text. So as you can see, this is the area of interest that we are talking about, which is just north of an existing retention basin, as well as future commercial to the south. As you can see, this is currently what is in the specific plan. This is the community core structure diagram, as well as the community core concept sketch that is in the current Gossamer Grove specific plan. And here is the proposed changes. As you can see, it now incorporates a police station and fire station, which is called the public services area. Currently, we are in negotiations with Lennar to have that property deeded over to the city so that we can utilize it as a police substation and fire station site with some additional area that is available to the west of that public services area. They would like to have some additional residential lots available for to develop and to sell. In terms of text changes, it's very minor. It's just two words in the public services section of the specific plan, essentially allowing a small percentage of attached or detached residential land uses, within this public services area. And so that is pretty much the extent of the changes that they're making to the specific plan. So the recommendation of staff is to conduct a public hearing and adopt resolution number 22-415, which is a resolution recommending the city council approve specific plan amendment number 2205, which 1, revises the community core structure diagram and the community core concept sketch, and also 2, makes a minor change to the specific plan text. And with that, we'll entertain any questions you may have.
For myself, what does that mean when you add those or detached?
Attached would be like duplexes or multifamily.
Okay.
Detached would be single family residential, which is the product they may want to have there. Right now, that area allows for some attached residential land uses, but they want the flexibility in that small area that they're carving out for additional residential to be either attached or detached.
I see. And that's in that northwest corner.
Correct.
Where were these services thought to be before this kind of a change? Like where were they gonna, where's the location of?
Oh, it was going to be in the same area. This is just
Oh.
sort of refining it and adding a little bit of additional residential. Although if you can see in the original concept and in the proposed concept, they did mention that limited amount of residential could be in this area as well. They're just sort of refining this area for the specific plan. Lennar was gracious enough to sort of reverse engineer these concepts so that you would have a better understanding, and it would be something that we could place into the specific plan as we move forward.
Any more questions before we open up public comment? Okay, we'll open up public comment for this item. If anyone wishes to speak in favor or against this agenda item, please do so now.
Bill Walls with Lennar Homes again. Just like to mention that we've been working with the city, Steve, Gabriel Gonzalez, the city manager, on this site. That's kind of gone from concept to what you see now. The site for the city is just over 5 acres, which will accommodate a fire station, police substation, and there's actually enough room for an additional building on that site. So we have enjoyed working with the city over the last 2 to 3 months on this, and we are looking forward to it becoming a reality. I know the people living in Gossamer Grove would love to see a police station or a substation and a fire station within their community. So it's a win for everyone. So we're pleased to be working with the city on it. If you have any questions for me, just let me know. Thank you.
The only question I see here is that just looking at the two community core structure diagrams side by side, have we removed the pedestrian link through this new site?
We will be, and the reason for that, with the police and fire station within that facility, that would be secure. We're looking at it, just the concept that we did. The south side of it would be kind of either storage or equipment area, and you would not want to have pedestrian access into that public facility.
And there's not really a good way to route that through the potential new residential neighborhood that is in that northwest corner?
There isn't, simply because the large basin that serves Gossamer Grove, there is no connection point between the fire station area and the single family residential.
The natural trail comes down along the Bryant,
Mhm.
which will get you out to 7th Standard Road.
Mm-hmm.
And then there are sidewalks along the north side of the public safety piece will take you down along Gossamer Grove Boulevard to the commercial area. So, I mean, there will be pedestrian access either out to 7th Standard or just internal to the development. Those are all part of the subdivision map process.
Okay.
Couldn't they carve out a little piece to make a little walkway through there? I mean, not into the public service, but across the,
I believe that would run behind people's houses. I mean, those lots back up to the public services property. I mean, I guess you could, but
yeah.
you can also walk down and around the corner and you'll be at the commercial.
Yeah, if you put that retail in there, people are gonna want a good walkway to get to things.
Gossamer Grove Boulevard, there would be, existing curb gutter sidewalk. There's going to be sidewalks around all of this. So there is always going to be the ability to facilitate pedestrian movement to the commercial area from the north. It's just a matter of not allowing the public to access the back of the fire station and police substation. I think you would want to have some control over who gets to be back there with, police cars and materials and things of that nature.
Yeah, I would agree. It just, it's a heavy bold black line that says strong pedestrian link that's now gone.
And again, this
That's
is
where the question comes from.
and again, no, I understand it. And again, this is a concept. They're going to formulate a tract map and a parcel and tract maps for this. And that's when we'll really be able to dig in and make sure that it meets code standard, those sorts of things, it has access.
Yeah, because of course, it's conceptual, but the old one that, what do we call it? The strong pedestrian link, that looks like a good time, a good area. There's kind of a promenade look to it, almost. If you flip it over, Gus, there's like a whole walkway through here,
Mm.
and that's not gone. So, I mean, this whole thing.
Yeah. Yep.
But again, that was a design concept that was all commercial.
Yeah.
Stuff, not, there wasn't any residential down through there. I believe the concept of any residential was potentially commercial on the bottom and residential on the top, if I remember Jim's description back when we did that design.
Yeah, the original concept was a mixed use where you would have commercial on the first floor and then you would have, and that's why it was attached, limited attached residential, because it would be then multifamily on like say a second or third floor as a mixed use in that area. And now we've gone to a public services area with a police and fire station. And that mixed use concept has fallen out.
Any more questions?
Nope.
Okay, we will close public comment on this item. Bring it back to the commissioners. Any more questions, or we'll entertain a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the recommendation as read.
No, second.
Commissioner Rivera,
Yes.
Nunless,
Yes.
Wiebe,
Aye.
Sanchez,
Aye.
and Franz.
Aye. Okay. That concludes the public hearing portion of the meeting, and we have commissioner reports next on the agenda. Wiebe or Sanchez, any report from your remote locations?
Not for me.
None for me.
I don't have anything.
All right,
No, I don't have anything.
then I will entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So move.
Okay. We are adjourned. Gus seconded.
Second.
Mm.
Microphone was on.